Hi guys. I'm going to talk about our readings and the movie this week. For my personal choice, at the end of the syllabus, I chose The Hunger Games, which related to A Brave New World. And for the Prince Award, I chose Scythe by Neil Shusterman. It was a really good book. And I'm going to talk about these books first because I think that they're both a dystopian novel, dystopian fiction, which is like right up my alley. I love it. And they both relate to A Brave New World, and that in A Brave New World, it's about a caste system and people's rights and freedoms being infringed upon. And that's really what Scythe and Hunger Games is about. In Hunger Games, you have adolescents going into the games, and they really have no choice in the matter, and it's certainly a violation of their personal freedoms. And with Scythe, the novel is about, I don't think anybody would, I think this is a newer book, but anyway, it's about these two adolescents, and they are trained, this camera's weird, to be scythes, which is in their society the highest ranking vocation that you can have, and they end people's lives, and that is their job. And the point of that is because society has advanced so much that nobody is dying, and they're really population control. And the two adolescents that are chosen for the apprenticeship really don't want to be in it, and they really do it because they feel obligated to. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so for Hunger Games, let me talk about my quote first. I read it on my Kindle. I already had it. Okay. This is when Peeta is just about to enter the games. He says, I don't want them to change me in there, turn me into some kind of monster that I'm not. And then it goes on. I only keep wishing that I could think of a way to show the Capitol that they don't own me, that I'm more than just a piece in their games. So I think that's a pretty widely known quote, but I think it has a lot to do about adolescent identity and also the concept of resistance. So for identity, Peeta is saying he doesn't want to be changed by the Capitol. He notices and recognizes that there is a difference in the identity between the Capitol people and the people living in the districts. And he doesn't want to be changed. He doesn't want to be changed into a monster, a killing machine. And with the concept of resistance, that's a very common concept in this novel. So you have Peeta saying that you have Rue dying and Katniss kind of having like a ceremony for her. That's an obvious form of resistance because she was supposed to kill her. So she's going back on what the Capitol had wanted her to do. And then there's also the berries, which is another form of resistance. The berries, the double suicide attempt. So I think the concept of resistance, and then the novels, the trilogy moves on to the concept of revolution. That is a perfect trilogy to bring into a social studies classroom because throughout history there are so many different revolutions, forms of resistance against a controlling government, and that is definitely something you can relate back to the curriculum. So I really love The Hunger Games. I think it is definitely relatable. It's more of an adventure theme, and that's what was in our textbook. And I think that male students would absolutely love it. I know that it's popular with females too, but male students definitely, because I read the book and then I watched the movie again, and my boyfriend was watching it with me, and he was just like trashing like the whole survival elements. He was like, oh, the bees would have killed them at that point. So I mean, I think it's definitely relatable to males as well. So, great book, definitely relatable to social studies. And now I'll go on to Scythe. So I already gave you a little synopsis for my quote. Hold on. Okay. It was Rowan who coined the term lettuce kid to describe them. Both of them were born sandwiched somewhere in the middle of large families and were far from being their parents' favorites. I got a couple of brothers that are the meat, a few sisters that are the cheese, and tomatoes. So I guess I'm the lettuce. So he's saying, you know, in his family sandwich, he's just the lettuce, and he's not really paid attention to. And I think that is really a relatable concept for students because a lot of students may have siblings, and there's the sibling rivalry, and parents can have favorites, really praise other siblings and neglect others. So I think that's definitely a relatable concept. What else did I think about this novel? And then there's also the reason why they went into their vocation. When you become a scythe in this novel, you get immunity for all of your family. So, their family wouldn't be killed for as long as you live. So, as long as the scythe lives. So I thought that was the main reason why these characters went into scythedom. The adolescent Citra in here, who's a girl, she did it mostly for her little brother's sake. Her parents said, "Oh, it's not about us," and then she realized, "Oh, they're talking about my little brother. I need to protect him." And then Rowan, who is the quote that was from, really wants his parents to recognize him and accept him and be grateful of what he brings to the family. So I think the concept of choosing a vocation is another relatable concept for adolescents, because adolescents may choose to go into a particular field because that's what their family does. They think it'll bring more income to the family, things like that. So I definitely think it's a relatable concept. Both Hunger Games and Scythe, I think, really relate to A Brave New World in that it's about infringing upon human rights, citizens' rights, and how there's corruption in society, and how the government can really take control and make citizens' lives hell. So I really like both of these novels. Both of these could be great for a social studies classroom with the concepts of government, resistance, revolution. So great. Okay. Oh, and then the film. Percy Jackson and the Sea Monsters. This was my least favorite film of all the movies that we watched. And I don't know why. It just wasn't my favorite. I don't know if it was because it was more of an adventure and there was a lot going on. But it wasn't my favorite. But as for the themes in the movie, I think those are very relatable to students. So for example, Percy, throughout the film is struggling with his relationship with Poseidon, his father. So he's worried that there's a disconnect, that Poseidon does not listen to him, that he doesn't believe in him, and that he's really lacking his guidance. And that makes him second guess himself and really question his identity. And I think that is really a relatable theme, because parents can be disconnected. They can not understand or try to understand their children. So I think that is a definite theme that's relatable. And then the other theme that I picked up on was the relationship between Tyson and Percy, and how they have kind of like a sibling rivalry at first, and then it morphs into a loving sibling relationship. So Tyson can get a reaction out of Poseidon. The sea creature comes out and helps them to the boat. So, and that's kind of a realization moment for Percy, and he's like, okay, he answers him, what about me? So there's that kind of disconnect. And then it really morphs into a loving relationship because he realizes that Tyson is really a good guy, that he's going to help him, and he ultimately saves his life. So definitely the idea of siblings and what it means to have a little brother or sister that you need to take care of. And it was in Scythe too. So I think those are concepts that stretch across, adolescents' minds all the time. So really great themes in there, but the movie just wasn't my favorite, so it's probably just my personal preference. But I love the novels, I was right in my element, and I'm excited for the next block. Thanks for watching, guys.